Hi everyone, welcome to back to the Last Note podcast after a short hiatus as I was performing with RF at WGI Finals, and that went well, and we're back smoothly into the flow of things. I'm joined by my co-host Preston Smith, and we have a very special guest today, one of the homies that I marched with back this past summer at Genesis, and was really one of the backbones, in my opinion, of our entire battery, and really just held the whole beat of the sound down. Bass five, Theron
He's
Jackson.
the guy.
Very
He's
happy, very happy to have him. He is him. So this
Yeah.
podcast, this podcast is sponsored by the Battery Archive, a place where you can get private lesson instructions for the marching arts. We recently just changed to a subscription-based service. So if you're interested in that, we do weekly lessons, and you can now do by the month, so where you can get 4 lessons at a time for a little bit of a discounted price. I also have some big news that I have just joined the Salyers Percussion Education team. So be sure to go check out all the pads, all the sticks, all the things. I really like the JM ones and this practice pad. Really great stuff, and I use it every day to teach all of my lessons. So
and
please,
Bruce Seller is just a super cool guy.
yeah, Bruce Salyers, one of the best guys in the business. Go to SalyersPercussion.com. Obviously, all the stuff on social media. If you want to see some of the products in action, there are videos on my page of me playing with the Salyers stuff if you want to see how it sounds. So, and go check out them. Go check them out at your local dealer if you can. And go support Team Texas. So, all right. Well, I'm going to introduce a little bit about our guest today. He is honestly, this is like I don't know if I can really think of someone as well versed in the indoor activity as this guy has been. Um, he did the Southport Marching Band and Indoor Percussion 2017 to 2021, Indiana State Marching Band 2021, Cap City 2 for 3 seasons, from 22 to 24, Genesis in 24, and then the Cap City World in 2025. Did I say Cap City 2?
Yeah, I mean
Okay,
it's all right.
okay, I
I'm
did.
sure that I'm sure they'll get it.
Okay, but yeah, one of the most experienced guys. I really just want to hit it off with this. Like, tell us a little bit about the difference going from Cap City 2 to Cap City World, and like, what was the main difference between that?
Well, honestly, to be honest, like we have such a great culture over at Cat City. Like I have to say, there's not really much of a difference.
Really?
Um, yeah, no, from the amount of the grind that we work on, the amount of dedication and ambition we have to the craft, it's equal in both groups. I mean, as clearly shown in this past season, we've both done extremely well. Just kind of pushing the tempo and creating kind of a new organization, kind of a new version of Cap City to really push the envelope and really like create that new ceiling and like kind of turn some heads this season. Yeah. And really getting into really getting into the kind of big name group where everybody's starting to look our way, trying to come over here for auditions and stuff like that. Like it's been a wonderful transition because I mean between the staff being the same, the work ethic being the same, the drive, the dedication. I mean, I gotta say like Cap City 2 and Cap City World are some of the hardest working groups I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I I definitely. I mean, I didn't know much about Cap City going into the season. I didn't really know much about indoor period going into the season. Um, but definitely, I was definitely a fan of y'all's show right off the bat. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't know any of the competitive side of it. I didn't really know how any of that worked. So I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. It was really cool to see, like, I feel like y'all took a step and we also took a step too. But it was cool to see us all succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it
It
was
was,
incredible. I mean, I getting to watch you guys in a lot,
yeah.
just incredible show. I mean, I was watching it all throughout the season and it just kept getting better and better and better. I enjoyed it so much, over at RF. You guys are killing it. I hope you guys continue to succeed
It's gonna be fun
as things move forward.
for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
Um, Definitely. y'all show gave me Signal 2.0 vibes. It gave me the vibe
That's
of
what I was saying. I'm
I remember watching on the on Flow, and I was like, "Dang, it's got some signal to it."
I'm
like it
so I'm so glad you said that.
it had some Signal vibes to it. I was like, okay, like I've heard this before.
Yeah,
So
no, I totally thought that at the very beginning of the season. I was looking at like from the color scheme to like the style to like the theme of the show. I was like,
yeah,
man, this seems kind of a lot similar.
I've
I even
played
talked
these
with
games before.
yeah,
yeah, I even talked with the head CEO over there, Donnie Ross. I even talked to him about it. I told him he's like, man, it is kind of similar, isn't it? It's like, yeah, but I mean, either way it goes, still, I mean, two very entertaining shows either way. So
facts.
I think it showed through. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to write a marching band show for a class I'm doing right now. It's called Introspection, but it's talking about like it's like radio waves and the mind like getting clustered all together. And I'm already like I'm just stealing ideas from Signal, it feels like.
Exactly.
And then
Nice.
I watched y'all's show the other day as like a reference because I was like, okay, this is like the kind of stuff I'm going for.
Right, yeah.
And then, but I was like, I really like those kind of shows. They're like, for whatever reason, that like why it works well in the modern era of like marching bands. For I don't know why, it just fits really well.
It's just an entertaining style. You can do so much with it, you know. There's not really a ceiling to the limit of sound and
Yeah,
audio experiences.
especially with like the vocoded stuff nowadays.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
holy crap, man, that's
But
it's taking the whole thing to a new level.
yeah, I will say I was super surprised when we put the vocode on the snare, but it is even bigger shock when they stuck a microphone in my bass drum. And so they mic'd me up as well. I was like, man, this is incredible because like they
Yeah.
really wanted you to feel the heartbeat of the sound, like with especially like with the two solos. Like it was just really made you feel like you were in like an audio zone, like you were definitely like
What
hearing
was
things
it?
all around
What
you.
was it like playing with those headphones on?
Really, they're actually I have them right here for you.
Oh shoot!
Oh, let's go to
Yeah,
the show and
Let's
tell
see.
segment.
Let's go.
yeah, show and tell.
Oh shoot!
So actually, they weren't super hard to play with because the noise canceling part they gutted it out. So it's
Ah,
actually just kind of just empty headphones in here.
okay.
They don't work anymore, but originally, you know, they were pretty weird to start off with
I
because like
bet.
one side kind of was like a little bit more muffled than the other, but in a way, it kind of almost felt like wearing earplugs, but like really
That's how I kind
sucky
of figured that.
earplugs.
That's kind of how I thought it was.
Yeah, kind of like sucky earplugs, I guess, because like anytime you were still like in the like when we were like slamming in a circle and it's like, oh, you could still hear everything. My ears
Yeah,
still hurt from that.
yeah.
But yeah, no, they even let us customize with the Morse code here.
Oh, oh, that's what
I
that is.
yeah,
Oh, that's
I ended up
cool.
getting a new set throughout the season because my first set broke.
Oof.
But I try to put beads for the Morse code
Oh,
here.
Oh, let's
that's
go.
awesome. Let's go.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. I didn't have enough room for beads, but I had bead on here, so you know
A
made
singular
it
one's
work.
enough. That's enough.
Heck yeah.
No, do you
But yeah,
remember? I think it was in 23. There was a little bit during part 4 where we tried to put like some kind of vocoder on Freddie's drum.
Oh yeah,
I remember
I
that was the
remember that.
idea. We tried to see if it worked.
It was in San Marcos.
I had completely forgotten about that
I
until
forgot
talking
about
about it
that.
just now, and I was like,
Holy crap.
"Oh, yeah." I remember it was whack because we could just hear
That
like
was whack.
3 reverbs of a snare drum, and as if we weren't already dirty enough in part 4.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. That
call them out.
oh man, but I love the 23 season was great for all of its own reasons.
Oh yeah.
We
Yeah, for I mean,
me and
for as
Elliot
mu-
were yeah. Oh my bad.
oh no, you're good.
Me and Elliot were talking about that 23 season at WGI finals. And he was just like as him as a tech, that was one of the most rewarding seasons.
Mhm.
Was just seeing the struggle. And then just like seeing our faces, like when we would perform, it looked like we're actually having a good time, even though we were sucking.
Well, and even though we never like we definitely didn't get anywhere near as clean as the 24 line was,
No.
but like from what we started with to what we
Yeah.
ended, there was like so much growth.
Oh
And
yeah.
like and it's one of those things that we kept watching it back. I was like, oh, I guess it wasn't that clean. But we didn't necessarily realize that in the moment because it was like we were honestly thinking about the right things. Like we are this much better than we were in gosh, when what was that? March camp where
Yeah.
we were tracking and Tyler was just like, play eighth notes in time while
Yeah.
marching.
And we had Frank out there.
Oh my gosh. Pepper almost killed me. We're in a tracking block. Frank's busy yelling at the quads because they were dying. Meanwhile, his dog just isn't moving. And I'm like, I have to keep going forward. This
Yeah.
dog just is not moving.
So, Theron, I know so you have a lot of indoor experience, right?
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
you have 1 year of outdoor experience. So tell me, we talked about it during the season a little bit, but like, what's the transition like going from indoor to outdoor and then vice versa?
Oh, buddy. Let me tell you, it's definitely it's a game changer. Um, I don't I don't know if there's any way I could have prepared myself for the kind of stuff we were getting into for the 24 season. But I will say like the mentality is like it's literally just indoor replicated by like a million because like you're doing it literally every single day and just like fighting that grind and like fighting the urge to like kind of like break down almost and like kind of just give up. It's like it's tough. It's a really hard mental experience. And you get that just as well as indoor, but like there are times like you get five like for us we got like 5 days to like take a break and like reset our minds, have a normal life before we go back into it in the weekend. But like, yeah, the mental aspect was probably my biggest hurdle to overcome. And then of course, obviously the physical aspect from switching from a 24 the previous season to going to a 30-inch drum the next, that was oh boy. Those first few weeks, I mean, I'll remember I was over there basically crying. It's
What was
like
the
begging for a break.
where was it was Caldwell. I'm trying to remember when it was. It was
It was near the end because it was like I think it was like
it
right
was
after
towards the end of Caldwell where we were up on that Viz field tracking.
Oh boy. Oh man.
yeah, you and I
Yeah,
had just
that.
gotten back from being sick, and then there was something Tyler got mad at the snares about or something like someone mouthed off. So as soon as we got back, we were tracking in the like freshly mowed grass being blown in our nose, and
Oh yeah.
we had just been sick, and I just remember like Theron was going through it.
I remember that,
Oh
and
yeah.
then all I remember is we stopped for a rep or something, and then all of a sudden you just see he falls back, and
Boom.
I'm like code red. I'm like, what in the H is going on? Like we gotta figure shit out, and then luckily all was good,
Yeah,
but
no, that
that
was
was
a tough
scary.
that was a
That
tough
was
day.
scary.
Yeah. I was
I'm
fighting,
very glad you were okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
for
for
real.
sure. Yeah, from the heat of the day to like the weight of the bass drum to the constant reps, like Tyler was grilling us that day. I was like, I don't even know what I did wrong. It's like, whoa,
Yeah,
man, that
We were
it
fighting the
it
snares
became
battle too. It was our fault.
dude. Yeah, it was our fault.
Think Isaac said something, or I
Probably.
think Tyler gave a comment and Isaac laughed at it and made a joke about it, and he was like, "Okay, fine."
yeah, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, we got so much better even in that
Oh yeah,
day. I remember just like getting incredibly better. Just that those few weeks in Caldwell, man, they were some of the best and worst weeks of my life.
oh
But
yeah,
like I have to say, like, with the staff there that pushed us at every given moment, like that spring training was the best spring training that I've ever gone through. Just at the point of like I felt truly prepared every single show once we got on the road. Like
for
I
sure.
never once, yeah, I never once felt like I was worried about my physicality or like my memorization of the show or anything like that. I was just out there ready to perform and like have a good time. So I
Yeah,
will say that was we got called welded for sure, as the G5 knows.
we got call welded. We did.
Yeah, for sure.
That was
Shout out to Larson.
shout out to Larson, man.
Shout out to
Um,
Larson for the Caldwell.
I mean, it was it's so, and I'll say this too, and this is not a knock on anything, but I definitely, the difference for me, at least in the indoor and outdoor world, was at least feeling from a competitive standpoint. I guess I kind of had a different outlook at RF than I did at Genesis in a way. Because at Genesis, I went into it knowing like, all right, we're gonna get as good as we can possibly get, no matter what,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
And then, and I mean, it's still competitive, obviously, but
Absolutely. I mean, yeah,
but
absolutely.
it but it's different. It's like Genesis has not been in finals, so we're pushing to get to finals
Right.
versus
Yeah.
at RF, you're trying to maintain a standard of you were in finals. And I
Yeah.
felt
And
like
I mean, even
that was kind of a different like kind of vibe, in my opinion.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even at Cap City, like we'd had some kind of ups and downs with our show choicing and stuff like that. So we were really ready to knock it out the park. And we just like at the end of the season, I mean, you saw the scores at the end of it. It became super competitive. Like every moment counted. So like
Like
it got to the point.
I think between 14, because there was a 2 point gap between 15 and 14, but from 14 to like 8, pretty much from like, did y'all beat Matrix?
No, we did not.
Were
Not
y'all
this year, no.
were y'all one behind Matrix?
Yeah, it was like I think either less than a point or like just over a point.
Okay,
It was pretty
but
darn close.
from like Matrix to Monarch, it was so close.
Yeah.
It
Oh yeah.
truly was like, I mean, would y'all have like a 91 something?
Yeah. We ended the score ended the season with a 91, I think three something,
Yeah,
91 something.
like
But
there,
yeah, highest score in Cap City history too. That was a
like,
big achievement.
and then like Monarch was like an 89-3 and we were 89-8, but like that's so tight. Like
Yeah.
that's truly all right. Who throws down on the night?
Right. And then,
And it
with
was
the
cool. It
top three
was
scores as well.
yeah. I mean, we could. That's a whole nother thing.
99 doesn't even get you a victory. It's crazy.
That was insane.
I
Seeing that like, just casually like after I watched finals and I got off for a bit, and then once I saw the scores come out, I like the first post I saw was the record being broken by second place, and I was like, oh wait, that's second place, and then I saw the record get broken like right after that. That's just insane.
And
Oh
like
yeah, no,
that X run, I will say, I thought that was the cleanest thing I've ever heard in person, no matter who it was.
I agree. I
That
totally agree.
I sat there absolutely stunned. It
I
was
mean,
it was
yeah.
perfect. There was not a tick. I mean, I'm sure if you went into the absolute micros, there probably was a slight thing, but from like a front to back, at least in the arena, it didn't come across at all. Like is and it showed in the music boxes. I mean, they got 100 in achievement.
Yeah, dude.
That's
It was
crazy.
A hundred in
insane.
the
That
score is
is
wild.
wild.
Yeah.
They got a perfect 100 in the music box.
Mm, mm, mm.
Just wild, wild stuff.
This kind of brings me to something I want to ask. I'll ask Theron first, but this kind of goes for both of you. Just since I haven't marched indoor, but it's something I've been thinking about a lot too. So, with the experience of having both marched DCI and WGI, what's from a mindset standpoint and just how you feel as a performer? Because like, what's the difference in how you personally feel like you affect what's going to happen? Because like in DCI it's still a whole like it's a whole core. Like there's brass, there's color, there's other stuff.
Yeah,
Like there's drum caption obviously, but like and we felt it this season. We played our butts off
Yeah.
and but did I we didn't really get the credit that we deserve just because there are other things that fall into place. So how is that mindset, I guess, Theron, coming from doing indoor to outdoor and then back to indoor, and then Noah going from having done a bunch of outdoor to indoor? Like what's that like, feeling like going from WGI being like, I have a very direct effect on how we succeed, to DCI being, yeah, you have an effect, but it's only to a certain degree.
Yeah, in a way, I suppose it was a little frustrating, like knowing that like we were playing our butts off and we were doing so well. Like especially, I want to bring up the Waco show. The Waco show, I felt like we had a really great run. I was super happy with it. That was a really personal show for me. You know, I have family there from Waco, and like it really meant a lot to go there and like throw down and have a, have a blast doing it, and then just to be kind of like screwed over almost by other outside forces. It's a little frustrating knowing that, I had one of the best runs of the season at that point in time, and it didn't really matter, I should say. But in a grand scheme of things, it's a very humbling experience to kind of get to the point where you're like, yeah, I need to focus at every single point and every single time, because like but it could be the difference. I could be the difference between third place and sixth place. I gotta work hard. I gotta constantly make sure that I'm up to date. No matter what. And it's the same thing with jump core, just not at the level of like not at the score level. It's the mentality is still there, but it doesn't. You're not worried so much about placement and scores, I should say.
I okay, so this is a good question. I really like this one.
I agree. Good question.
I I feel like in indoor, just the overall atmosphere kind of lends itself to a more enjoyable performing experience as a
Yeah.
whole.
Hmm.
Because you can actually there, and this was at WGI finals. I'm Theron, you know those like corners, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Hmm.
so we had a part in the show where I went on to one of those corners, and then I did this at all of our shows because I would be in the corner of somewhere, but I'd make eye contact with the audience member and like give them like the wink and the head nod, and then take off going the other way. It's like those little things, just even during the run, they like give you that little extra boost of motivation. Whereas like in I felt like I was always worried about where's the percussion judge.
Yeah.
Like I at least from like the center's perspective, like I was in like where my field of vision and my like target of where I'd always try to look. I would be looking towards the box, but my eyes would be scanning the front of like, okay, where is the judge? Which I mean, I don't know if that's the right thing to be thinking about, but at least having in terms of like an impact standpoint in indoor, I feel like I had a bigger impact on the score because it is just us, obviously. And I also felt um so I feel like this also goes indoor books are normally a little bit harder than outdoor books, just because obviously, I mean, there's a lot of things that go in outdoor. You don't have to ram when you're all the way back there all the time on the back hash, which makes sense. But having that difficulty all the time, it puts you in a headspace of like, okay, this I gotta go. Like it's literally if one person is not gassed 100% at the end of the run, or one person isn't giving it they're giving 92% and not 97 or 100 on a snare break, then it's gonna blow up because everything is so dense.
Mm.
So having that like pressure just on you at all times, honestly, it just made me so much better, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
So I
Yeah, I
guess
agree. Especially,
that's what I would say to that.
yeah, especially like having a solo moment, like, or feature even,
Yeah.
like the longer features definitely, like you get into the mind space of just like it needs to be good no matter what. And I know we had a few points in time, especially at Cap City, where we're just like we're grinding these features out, and we're just like man, I don't feel like we're getting anywhere with these, but it's like we need to keep working on it because if we blow up a feature in, in a show, like that's so embarrassing.
Yeah,
I
I
would never
mean,
want to go through that.
yeah, like so our part four snare feature was I think I clocked it at like 39 seconds, 40 seconds of the show. And I mean, there's a couple parts where it's not very dense, but it splits down the line. And that's hard enough in itself. Like it's like
Mhm.
okay, each person plays one triplet, but like okay, how do we play that triplet?
Right, yeah.
How do we make all the buzz of something? Dude, Preston, we were cleaning all those down the line rolls that were coming back from the buzzes. Those were forlets.
Those are forlets.
Yeah, so so I mean, it was more one of those things like okay, some person didn't know what a forlet was. It's like okay, so then you got to go into the weeds and you got to okay build all the reps up because I mean
Yep.
we've been playing forlets for 2 years, 2 seasons now, and then
Hard
someone
forward.
hasn't someone hasn't played a forlet ever. And so you got to build the reps up for everyone and to build the consistency. And so even when you feel like you're not getting better on a feature, you're really just trying to put more green marbles in the hat. So that way,
Yep, yeah.
whenever you pull one out, it's green. Like I'll be the first to say, we pulled out green marbles on our snare feature for prelims and finals. But our semi snare feature was dirty this year at finals. So yeah, I mean it wasn't dirty, but it was like a little scratchy.
You played it better. Yeah.
Yeah, we played it better at finals and at prelims. But
Mm.
it just shows you the way that the green marbles and red marbles work. It's really
Yeah.
just a numbers game with how many reps that you have.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I actually think this is kind of a good stopping point for now. This is we're gonna pick back up with Theron soon, and we're gonna do a reaction video and talk about the Genesis 24 season because I think that would be we were the three age outs in the battery. And so I think that would be a really cool experience to kind of talk through that. And then we can go into some of the stories from that season. But it was really
Oh yeah.
cool it's really cool getting to hear all the how the WGI world really like just has impacted your life and how it's made a difference. And really, I mean, it's good for everyone to hear that too. Like if you're interested in doing WGI, like do it. Like I had zero intentions of doing indoor this year. Like I was like, okay, whatever. And then I was like, there's an RF camp. Like I'll go see what it's about. And I really still didn't even know what indoor was. And then I just did my homework and I'm like, holy crap. And then about two rehearsals in, I was like, okay, this is insane. But
Yeah.
super, super happy I got that experience. And anyone, if you can, you should go march indoor. If you can,
Hmm.
at the world class level, especially. Just that Dayton vibe is unmatched.
Oh yeah, having that whole circle around you,
Oh
millions. I say like hundreds of people just like lining up around you, and it's like starting the sun's going down, and you're feeling that nighttime vibe. Oh man, it's
yeah,
we definitely that was my first time having a night lot and just like being in that zone, just like everybody's there for you. You know, they're cheering you on, screaming, and
yeah.
sometimes I mean you got the drunk guys in the lot doing
Oh
some
yeah.
crazy stuff. Yeah, like when we
Play it louder.
yeah, when we played Diddy in the lot, the BD Diddy in the lot, it was it got a little wild. They're like, oh, yeah, but it was so fun, so enjoyable, and very exciting for anybody like you were saying, Noah, like anybody who's even thought about it, do it because like it truly made me fall in love with the marching activity in general. Like I cannot, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't do indoor. I'm gonna be honest with you. But
That's
yeah.
awesome to hear. Well, all right. It's been great. Preston's got to run to steel band, and I'm gonna go teach some more lessons.
All
And
right.
it's been great catching up, and then we will all be in touch soon. So,
Yes,
all right,
Heck
sir.
y'all.
yeah.
Preston, have fun. I'll see you, Theron, and then we'll be in touch soon. So, thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back soon.